Hey everybody, Frankie Timmons here, Cycle 61 on YouTube. And I wanted to make a video of why I think this bike right here, the 2020 Roubaix Team Geometry, is probably the best bike out there. Bang, well not bang for the buck because it's expensive, but pretty much the best all-rounder out there right now. So I wanted to go over this bike and why I bought it and why and what I'm going to race it in. So again, it's the 2020 Roubaix, the Team Geo, so this is pretty much a tarmac with suspension, a little suspension. So it actually has the Future Shock 2.0 up here and the Pave seat post, and it's a pretty comfortable ride. And it can handle up to a 33 millimeter tire, and I'm hoping to squeeze a little more in there, but we're gonna see. So we'll go with that. But I'm gonna tell you how I outfitted the bike first, and then you know, my thoughts and reasonings why I think this is probably one of the best bikes out there right now. Even though it's from the Big S, you know, a lot of people don't like Specialized. You know, and I wasn't even going this direction because I plan on going to Dirty Kansas again. So this bike kind of clicks all the boxes as far as, you know, I have the Cannondale right here beside me, and I have my time trial bike, and you know, you see all this stuff. I have more bikes that you can't see here. I mean, there's a gravel bike, well, sort of, you know, there's a Trek Boone, and my daughter's Specialized Diverge, and my wife's, you know, comfy bike, and you can probably see my wife's road bike back there. It's just bikes all in here, and I've been doing this a while, and I was actually looking at a Salsa Warbird, and then I turned and started thinking about the 3T Exploro because I wanted something I could still ride on the roads, because there's really no gravel here in Delaware. It's all paved. There's one thing the state has done is really push to pave all the roads, for good or bad. Like, you know, they really push to keep the roads up, and Delaware does a really good job with roads. Wide shoulders on the roads that need that. So I needed a road bike as well. So since this thing can hold a 33, and we're saying that that's what they recommend, we know we could probably get away with a 35. And there are some 35 millimeter tires out there. And this thing is as aerodynamic as a tarmac. Supposedly it's a couple watts faster than a tarmac, the current tarmac, and it's lighter than a Venge, okay? So with that, they just came out with the Cannondale Super 6 Evo, and they said it was 9 watts faster than a tarmac. But that was with an aero handlebar kit, and all the bikes that they tested against that Cannondale didn't have that. They had round tube bars. And then they said that their bars were worth 9 watts. The exact thing that put them over the tarmac. The tarmac was the closest one, and I believe the BMC was really close to that, almost identical. But they never mentioned this bike. So this bike is probably 2 to 3 watts faster than a tarmac. So I put S-Works Aerofly bars on it. So, and you could tell, like, at a steady, like 200 watts, when you're at that 20 mile an hour zone, you're going a half mile an hour faster than this round tube bike here. Is it, you know, huge difference? No, it never will be. But I was looking for every little thing. Last year, my rig weighed 38 pounds. No, I'm wrong. 28 pounds at Dirty Kansas for the 200, and the whole rig itself with me and the, you know, the backpack and the water was 260 pounds. I am trying to get that number down as close to 200 as possible and still keep it comfortable. I signed up for the 350, so we'll see. That hasn't been announced yet. Should be about another week or so, and I'll be putting a video out for that. So we know this bike's aerodynamic. We know it's light. And I equipped it with the SRAM axis with the 4835 on the front and the 1033 on the back, the biggest one you can put. You know, the easiest ring. And It's got the cord power meter built in. Yeah, some people will say I'm an idiot for that, but you know, I wanted to pull this bike off the shelf and not take one sensor off. I wanted to just be able to get on and ride, just put my Wahoo on and go. And that was another reason why I was doing this. I went with the NV 4.5 ARs. So they are 25 millimeter internal width, and they're a hookless bead. So you are confined by tire on this, and you have to remember that when you buy these tires or buy these wheels. These wheels don't have a hooked channel inside of them. So there's an actual list of recommended tires to use for these wheels. The air pressure isn't really high. The highest I think you can go for like a 23 or a 25 is 83 pounds or something like that. So you can't go real high with these. And so you have plenty of comfort between the tire, the seat post, and the shock, you know, and a full carbon bike. So they did build some stiffness into this bike, so it really does climb good when you turn that shock, you know, to the hardest setting. And you know, it feels real good. I actually have time on this bike, and a lot of reviews I've been watching has been at one ride review. This, I have about 500 miles on it right now, and I haven't been riding a lot. I'm just starting to pick it up for Kansas. I also have the Schwalbe Pro 1 Evos on here. So each one of these things I'm going to tell you I'm going to do a video on, because I'm riding it and I'm actually like not getting on YouTube and saying I have this and this is my first impression out of looking at it out of the box. This is my first impression of it riding it. So I have about 500 miles on these tires on the Schwalbe Pro 1 Evo tubeless. And they are a nice tire, very supple. It's insane how supple they are. You almost have to get used to it because it feels a little spongy down there, especially with these low pressures with this high internal width. They're 28 millimeter. They measure out to 30.1 on this wheel right now. And I've seen a set of the old Pro ones measure out on the same wheel as 31 millimeters, so for a 28. And like I said before, I got a Specialized Airfly bars on here. They may stay, they may not. I always run, I might go to the NV bar on this for some other reasons. I've had the zip bars on this Canadair on it right now, and I like them. The Aerofly bar, it looks okay, it's all right. Gotta get used to the hoods and everything. I'm used to the old SRAM hoods that are smaller for mechanical. The Hydro hood's a little bigger, but you can really grab onto it when you're down. So this bike is going to go in crits. I've already been on some really fast group rides with some sprints and won them. And I was kind of worried about it. Like, had the future shock completely, you know, tightened down, and this thing goes. I didn't like get up and jam sprint. I just was in a breakaway and just kind of punched away. And so it feels good as far as racing, crit racing or road racing. Road racing, I think this thing will really shine, because you know how those race promoters go. Perfect roads, and you get out there and you're just beat to death on a race. And so that's where I have a Pave time trial that I do every year in Wilmington, Delaware. That is called the Monkey Hill Time Trial. It's 3 miles, and it has real pave into it. It's a real brick road, and this thing will beat you to death. And I am so excited to take this bike. I am very excited to take this bike up there. It's going to be great. This thing was meant for that, so I'm really looking forward to that race. That is in May. So that's pretty far out. I do it every year. And then, you know, I'm doing Dirty Kansas, and I'm doing it on this bike. Yep, I'm doing Dirty Kansas on this bike, hopefully with 35 millimeter tires on it. Hopefully they'll go and have some room for some mud clearance. And actually this complete setup. So gearing wise, I think I wish I went a little better with the gearing, but what can you do? So that's pretty much it for the bike. We're going to do all the races with it. We're going to do gravel with it. We're going to do road races. I'm going to do it in crits. I'm going to keep you updated with the racing and, you know, how I'm doing on this bike as Dirty Kansas approaches. Hopefully we get into Dirty Kansas because it's a lottery. And, you know, I'll be excited to go back there for the 3rd year. And then I want to do, I'm going to do videos on the SRAM Axis, real reviews on that, and a real review on the wheels. They're great wheels. I mean, what can you say? But I'll do a small video on them. Main thing was the SRAM Axis and the Schwalbe tires. They're brand new. The Schwalbes, they roll so good. So if you're watching this and you're wondering about that, that video is coming up. That's with actual mileage on it. If there's anything on this bike that you see that you want to hear about, put it in the comments, and go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button if you want. And I'll keep trying to bring out some stuff. I have a ton of reviews that I always promise to do and I never do them. So the first one was this bike. Rides great. Everything works wonderful on it. It's fast. Only two gripes. Two gripes on this bike before I go. One, you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay for that. I always tell people that S and S Works is actually a $. They just accidentally just made it an S. It's expensive. I mean, it's just I never thought I'd own a bike like this, honestly. Like, everything I have, my Cannondale is secondhand. My TT bike was probably 4th hand. My first bike was brand new, but it was aluminum alloy, and I thought I was spending some big money then. And then the only other new bike, the comfy bike there is, and you can't see it, but it's a Specialized like flat bar bike for my wife to ride trails with, and then and the Diverge, it was new for my stepdaughter. So as far as new bikes, I've never really bought a lot of new bikes for myself. I bought a lot of bikes. I buy more used because it's easier to get. This was it. This was the one that's going to really take the place. Actually, I'm thinking about selling my Cannondale. It's on the trainer right now. That's what I run Zwift on. It's just easier just to keep it right there, and I don't have to buy that 12-speed cassette. So, and the other thing, the other gripe is the Future Shock 2.0. Okay, it works great. Works great when you get that knob on. So that plastic knob, they put Loctite on it before they send it out, and that Loctite dries. The actual hex is like a 0.50 or a 1.5 millimeter, very small. And when you tighten that up, you'll strip it right out. So your bike mechanic will probably cuss at the Future Shock 2.0 trying to thread that in. So you literally have to just barely twist it in and out, and wear that Loctite out a little bit, and then you can get it to bite inside. You got to have really good hexes, and don't use anything that's been rounded off or anything, or just old, because you're going to fight that. Actually, that Future Shock is warranted. So while the knob was off the bike, because I needed a set screw, the top piece fell right off. So, but Specialized was cool. They sent out a brand new Future Shock 2.0, and it's been great ever since. We put it on, tightened it up, everything's been rocking. I took some spacers out to get her slammed a little more. And remember, this thing has the geometry of a tarmac. It's 57 centimeter. So I can get pretty low on this bike. I have plenty more room. I can take probably about another 20 mil out of that head tube, or that headset. So, but for the winter, I want to be upright a little more and comfortable because I'm doing long base miles. So far so good. I got a 100-miler to do tomorrow on this bike, and we're gonna rock that out, no problems. Oh, you can see that Cell Italia seat I got up there. Ooh, full carbon, no padding. I've been getting used to it. This is a Cell Italia right here, but it's got padding. I love that seat. That one, I love the shape. I just gotta get used to that. Just a little harder. You feel the road a little more. So other than that, hey, I'll even do a review on that. That's cool. So this is Frankie Timmons signing off, Cycle 61.